Hi soulmates, welcome to the sewing part of our last tutorial on how to sew an inbuilt bustier corset. So this is the pattern. I've gone ahead to cut them on both the fashion fabric and the lining. So we're going to be dropping the pattern and let's start sewing. Now the first thing is I'm going to be working with the fashion fabric, and I'm taking the center front and the side front. I'm going to place it like that and sew it. 1/2 inch allowance that I added. I'll also pin the other one. I'm just showing you guys how to sew it before I proceed to sew. Now this is the lining. We place it on each other. You all know how to sew a bustier, so this is not a new thing to you guys. Now for the back pattern, I'm going to take the center back and side back, and I'm going to be sewing. Now on this pattern, I added 1/2 inch all round. Then towards the side seam, I added 2 inches on the side seam. Now this is the last one. That's the fashion fabric for the back. I'm going to be putting the side seam on it, and for the second one. So let's go and sew. After sewing, guys, this is how it is. I've gone ahead to join all the pieces together, and for the lining I did a bust caging. This is not actually important, except you want to cage your bust. So if you don't want to cage your bust, do your normal padding, that's using your essay or your paper gum to pad your bust. You guys already know how to do that. Then for those that might be interested in learning how to cage your bust, I have a tutorial on my channel where I taught how to cage. So guys, now let's continue. So this is the yoke. I've gone ahead to sew the yoke round. I doubled the yoke. Now I'm pinning it to the front piece, and for the back piece also I'm going to be pinning the yoke to it. So you place your front piece right side facing right side so you can align your yoke properly, and I'll be sewing with 0.25 before I turn it with my lining later on. So this is me pinning them together. That's my pattern over there. I already know where the yoke is going to be, so you check yours and you know where your yoke is going to be. Then I'll go ahead and sew with 0.25. After sewing, guys, now we're going to be putting our boning on the lining, because this is a George fabric and there's no seam showing on the fashion fabric, so everything we're going to be doing is on the lining. Now this is me putting all the style lines. The center front are indicated. We already have our darts. Then towards the side seam, I marked 3 inches away from the darts, and I connected it like a slant form upward. So those are the style lines. Now it depends on how many style lines you want to give. So after that, guys, we are going to take the boning and I'm going to be cutting the sizes. I'll leave 1/2 inch on the upper part. It will not get to the upper part. Then towards the hem is going to be 0.75. So that is me using my chalk to indicate where my boning will stop. Then I'm going to iron this boning. This regining boning is a sewable boning. Then before I sew on it. Now for the back, guys, this is the back lining. I'm going to be putting 2 boning towards this back side. So that's the second one. The first one is going to be on the dart line of the back. Yeah, so that's the dart line. I'm going to cut the length that I want, and just like what we did for the front, it will not get to the upper part, and towards the hem it's going to be like 0.75 away from the hem. Now this is it, guys, after sewing my regional boning on the lining. This is how it is looking like, and for the back piece, this is how it is also. Now this video is a fast one because most of you already know how to do this. So now, like I said, I sewed the yoke to the fashion fabric with 0.25. Now we're going to be turning it with the lining. Now you're going to place your lining on it, right side to right side, and I'm going to pin from the center front. I'll pin all the way to the sides. So guys, like I said, for those of you that don't want this bust caging, go ahead and put your bra cup, or you do your normal padding for bustier. It is going to be still going to be the same thing. So after pinning to the other side, I'm going to be sewing it with 1/2 inch. Then for the back side, I'm going to do the same thing also. I'll place the lining on it, and I'm going to be sewing everything. So guys, this is it after sewing. You can see how it is. Now we're going to be turning the sides. Yeah, we're going to be turning the sides. So you open it up this way and you place it like that, and I'm going to be sewing with 0.25 on all the sides. Then for the back, I'm also going to turn the sides, and the side where we're going to be putting our lacing, I'm not going to be sewing that part. So watch my hand. So here I'm not sewing. I'm going to turn it and just use my stitch to secure both the lining and the fashion fabric together. So this is it, guys. I've gone ahead to sew. This is how it is looking like. Now you place your yoke, and we're going to be sewing the sides same. So I added 2 inches sewing allowance to this pattern. Yeah, it was not added on the pattern. It was when I was cutting on the fabric that I added the 2 inches. Now since I use 0.25 to turn it inside, what I have left is 1.75. So this is me indicating the 1.75. And I'm going to be sewing it. So guys, if you've not watched the drafting part of this tutorial, I'm going to drop the link in the comment section and description box for you guys to watch. Now this is it after turning the sides. Yep, we'll sew the sides together. Now we're going to be doing a back cover for our lacing, our eyelets. Some people call it gourmets. So this is what I cut. I cut 5 inches. You fold 1/2 inch on both sides and you iron it. Now after ironing it, this is how it is looking like. So I gum it with a paper stay. This is going to serve as our eyelet cover. It's going to give you that thickness at the back so that your eyelet will not pull off. So you're going to take your back piece and you place it on that center line. Anything you are doing should not exceed the center line. So you're going to take a boning, regional boning. I'm going to cut. Yeah, now this one is starting from the upper part, but towards the down part, it is 0.75 away from the hemline. Now this is how you're going to place it. Two, yeah, one on the center and the other one towards where the cover will stop. Now I'm going to be sewing it. After sewing, guys, this is how it is. I've done this several times on my channel, so most of you are familiar with this. Now this is how it is. you're going to cover it back now. Now before you cover, you're going to turn it the way you see me turning it like this. Yeah, that's how you turn. When you turn, make sure the center and the half inch you iron matches each other. They are going to sew it, and we cut off the excess. Now you fold the second one as well. You are going to sew, then you cut it off. After sewing, when you flip it and cover, it's going to give you something like this. Then you sew towards the edge. So guys, this is it. I've gone ahead to sew it. Look at the outside, and this is the inside. So we have our garment casing ready. Now the next thing is to run a stitch on the down part to secure it down. Then I went ahead to fix bias, to use bias to turn it. You all know how to use bias to turn the fabric. Now our upper part is almost getting ready. Now after that, I went ahead to fix the sleeve. The sleeve is also a skin tone mesh. It is a basic sleeve. All of us, we know how to cut a basic sleeve. Now this is it after cutting. Yep. So guys, we are going to be working on the skirt pattern now. Now before that guys, towards the side seam, I went up by 3 inches. It was 3.5 on the pattern, but we used ½ inch to turn it with bias. So we have 3 inches left. Then for the center on the waistline, I measure the waistline and I mark. So I'm going to be rolling it now. The side, then the front waist length, indicate it so you have your chalk showing. Then also the back, your waistline for the back, you are going to roll it that way. That's where we'll be sewing the skirts on. Now for the skirt, I have my skirt ready. We all know how to sew a skirt or how to cut a skirt. Now the skirt, I've gone ahead to turn it with the lining. Now this lining, I turn it on the upper part here and on the sides. Then I remove it out from the down part because it's a George. We cannot turn the down part due to how the pattern are and all of that. Then I've gone ahead to put my side seam. Now this is the back pattern. We've sewed the zip allowance, and we did the same thing for the way we did for the front, turning the sides and the upper part. So that's the side seam and that's the down part, and that's the zip. Yep. So we are going to be sewing it now. Now I'm going to place it right side to right side, that's the back and the front, and I'll be sewing with the sewing allowance I added. Guys, give me a like if you're enjoying this tutorial. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Now this is it. I've gone ahead to join the front and the back together. Now for the slits, I did 23 inches for our slit. So I will open up the zip side so it will give me easy access to sew it on our blouse. Now this is the blouse. I opened it up and I'm going to place the skirt on it. Now if everything is accurate, your side seam should match each other. Now that is the side seam, it is matching each other. I'm going to be sewing from one point to the other point. Now like I said, make sure your side seam matches. Then I'm going to sew and stop where my boning is. Yeah, that part where I fixed the boning, that is where I will stop sewing. Then I will sew also to the other part, and I'm going to stop where my boning starts from. Now these are what you can use to sew it. This is invisible thread. This is the fashion fabric thread, the main color, and I have needle and thread. So either you choose any one that works for you. For the needle and thread, fold it into 8 and you can use it to sew it, or you use your invisible thread to sew. Another way is you can turn it, place it upward, and you can sew from the underneath and you turn. But I went ahead to use the invisible thread to sew it, like just matching it down, and this is how it is after sewing. Can you see? Like I said, it's an inbuilt. Inbuilt is what when the blouse is going inward, it is longer than the normal blouse length, but it's going inside your skirt. So look at the back pattern, it's looking all neat and beautiful. And this is the front. Guys, ignore that sound. I don't know, because this is Christmas period, they are all just throwing banger. I'm tired. So this is it. And now this is our George, the pattern that I'm going to be cutting out to design the front. And for the wrapper, for the fox wrapper, I just sew it on the side and I take it up to one side. Now this tutorial, we are done with it. After sewing, after fixing and attaching the wrapper, and this is how it is. Thank you guys, bye.